Good evening, everybody. We are very happy to welcome Mr. Hiren Vakil. In fact, Mr. Vakil is known to everybody. He is a frequent faculty of AMA, and there is no much formal introduction is required, but still for the benefit of a lot of students who came here first time to AMA. Mr. Hiren Vakil is basically a corporate trainer and a management educator. Mr. Vakil did his Bachelor of Commerce and Master of Commerce from Sardar Patel University, Vidyanagar. He has secured gold medal in both degrees. Later, he has completed his MBA in Human Resource Management from the University of Dallas, Texas, USA. He has worked in reputed international and Indian organizations like EDS Corporation, a Fortune 500 company, Nicholas Paints, Nerolec Paints, Seat. Currently, he is associate with several reputed companies as a consultant and management associate. As a faculty. Friends, this is very short, but we know that Mr. Vakil has given a very good, fantastic talk in AMA. I was very happy. Today the subject is also very good, and we will like to take maximum benefit of his talk. I would not like to take much of your time. On behalf of AMA, I will welcome Mr. Vakil. Before that, there is one small request came from the audience. There are 40 students came to AMA today. They would like to see that Mr. Vakil will speak in Hindi, but as far as possible, he will try to say that language can be understood to the all audience. Whatever is possible, he will try to incorporate. So that's why that was the request from the people. So that is a small announcement, and now I will welcome Mr. Vakil on behalf of AMA and all of.
Hello. Good evening, Ahmedabad. Thank you very much, Mr. Maira, for those nice words. And, I was so happy to know that, we belong to the same institute. Please take your seats. There are quite a few available over here. See, I'm very, very happy today that I'm standing in front of you to deliver a talk on the subject, which is very, very close to me. In one way or the other, in all of my talks and my training programs, I always talk about it. See, in our life, most of the times we always talk about two extremes. Either you talk about the positivity or you talk about the negativity. Either you say that that person is very, very creative or constructive, or you say that that person is destructive. In management terms, many a times we say that, see, we come across only two kinds of people. Maybe the leaders or the followers. But you can't have anybody in between, Lee Iacocca, the former chairman of Chrysler, once said this, either you lead me or you follow me, or else get the hell out of here. Is it not? See, these are the two extremes of our life, and today I'm going to talk about the subject which has connection with everybody. It has to do with you, It has to do with you, and it has to do with me and everybody. The spirit of being positive. See, I have always been debating in my life, how are we born? Is positivity something which is an inborn talent? Is a person born negative? Can it be that way? Have you ever heard of in your life that a person is born terrorist? ये जन्मजात त्रासवादी है. Have you ever heard of? Have you ever heard of in your life that somebody says that he is a born criminal? ये जन्मजात गुनहगार है. It never happens. And the answer has always been this way, that look, anybody, whenever he or she is born, ultimately, we are like the clean slate. And over a period of time, what happens is, we start writing on it. A person becomes good, a person becomes bad. Somebody is considered to be positive, somebody is considered to be negative. ये बहुत अच्छा इंसान है, और पता नहीं क्या उसके साथ क्या प्रॉब्लम है. We talk like this. The spirit. And in my opinion, the spirit is something which has to do with the attitude of an individual, how you are, and how you look at the life. And it comes in the picture, maybe through your behavior, maybe through your thoughts. It comes in your character. Maybe it comes in your thoughts, in your words, and so on and so forth. But there is nothing like that. Attitude is something that you can touch. You can always sense. You can always feel the positivity or the negativity of an individual. See, I'm reminded about a beautiful story, and it's a very funny story, and it goes like this. There were two cities, very close, but there was one river flowing in between, and there were quite a few bridges to connect these two cities. Just like Ahmedabad, you have got so many bridges. Now, they were always heavily crowded, heavy traffic and all that. So the municipal authorities of these two cities, they thought of, okay, we need to find out the way. And they came to this conclusion, okay, let us do one thing. Let us construct an underground tunnel which can connect these two cities. That's going to be, a very, very prestigious kind of a project. So, the tender notice was issued and the quotations came. And the builders, the contractors, and whatnot, they had given their quotations. They shortlisted based on the criterions. And finally, after going through the entire process, they selected almost one partnership firm, Tom and Jerry, the partnership firm. And they were about to, this panel was sitting, and they were about to crack this news, we have selected you people for this prestigious project. At that point of a time, one panel member got up. He said, excuse me, gentlemen, but, I need some clarification. I need, I have got a question. So, jara ye bata de, That fellow said, yeah, ask us, what is it, What kind of a clarification you want? And this fellow said, see, I have always been thinking about this. You have told us about everything. We have checked with you people, asked you so many questions. But I have always been thinking about what is going to be your modus operandi. What is going to be your plan of action? How would you construct this underground tunnel? Jerry, one of the partners, was very talkative. So he immediately jumped and he said, oh, sir, come on. That question is very simple. See, our modus operandi is going to be very, very simple. And what we are going to do is, we are going to divide our workforce. half of the people would start from that side, that is this city, half of the people would start from this side, that is another city, and we would meet in the center and we'll give you the tunnel. So this fellow who had asked the question, he started scratching his head. He said, now I have got another question. God forbid, if you people don't meet in the center, then what? So Jerry, he jumped and he said, come sir, you will have 2 tunnels at one cost. Nothing to be worried about, you know. See, that's our problem. That's not your problem. See? Now, this is the kind of a spirit that people have. I read somewhere this. What success is all about. What is success? And here is a beautiful interpretation, and it goes like this. This is what Earl Nightingale has to say. And this person says that success is not an accident. It can never be an accident. It is the result of our attitude, and our attitude is a choice. A equal to B, and B equal to C, therefore A equal to C. So he says, it is the result of our attitude, and our attitude is a matter of choice. It means that success is equal to choice. Hence, success is a matter of choice and not the chance. It is not a mystery. It is not a riddle. It's not a big thing. It is no mystery, but simply the result of consistently applying some basic principles, the fundamentals of the life. Failure is a result of making a few mistakes repeatedly. And how beautiful it is. You have to learn from your mistakes. And everybody, you know, all of us, we make mistakes. But the wisdom lies in that we learn from our mistakes. I remember when I was a school-going child, you know, boy, and I remember at one point of a time, I had gone to, you know, Ram Katha of Murari Bapu. And I'm very fond of him. And you know, I was sitting over there as a schoolboy, and I remember during the discourse, Murari Bapu, he said something very interesting. He said, "Ke bhool karo." And I was surprised. You know, I was sitting over there. Ke what is he saying? Bapu aisa kyun bol raha hai? He said, "Bhool karo. Khoob karo." And I was stunned. Ke Murari Bapu ye kya bol rahe hai? You know, why one should make mistakes? And why should one make many mistakes? And then he said, "Pehle suno to sahi. Bhool karo, khoob karo, lekin baar baar mat karo." Is it not? Now that is the punch of Murari Bapu. That you make mistakes, and you make more mistakes, and each time that you are making a mistake, you are learning out of your mistakes. I call this as the path to success. And what is it all about? I came across a beautiful poem which I'm going to share with you. And it goes like this, and how much it is applicable in everybody's life. It says that the road to success is not straight, and how true it is. It can never be the path full of roses. Here is a curve called failure, and the mistakes, failures would always be there as a part of your life. A loop called confusion. There would always be confusions. There would always be misunderstandings. There would always be communication gaps. Speed bumps called detractors, and people would always be there to pull your legs. Red lights called enemies. But then he says that, but if you have a spare called determination, you know, you are determined for something, you know, कि बस मुझे ये करना है, मैंने ठान लिया है, and maybe something like, you know, Michael Phelps. And before he had entered in the Olympics, and everybody in the world was talking about him, you know. And I had my own doubts. People had their own doubts. Okay, how is it possible? An individual claiming 8 gold medals at Olympics. Here is our country. Even striving for 1 gold, and that becomes a Herculean task for us. Just imagine an individual taking 8 golds in his name and creating the world record. An outstanding person. And that is what determination is all about. If you have a spare called determination, an engine called perseverance, and it's all about the hard work. Yeah? Once you take up something and you don't live it. Insurance called faith. Wow, what a beautiful, imagination is this. You have what kind of an insurance? And it's about the trust. It's about the faith in your relationships. A driver called God. Because ultimately you are going to leave it to him. कि भाई मैंने सब कुछ किया, now I leave it to you, तू मुझे संभाल लेना. And he says that when you have done all of this, you will make it to a place called success. And that is going to be your destiny. Many of you might be knowing this gentleman. But then here, at this juncture, I can't stop myself from sharing this personality with you. Many of you would be knowing, please keep silence. Let others think about, okay, who is this person? Because he has motivated me a lot. And it goes like this. There was a man who failed in his business at the age of 21. At the age of 21, he was an entrepreneur, risk-taking ability, and he wanted to get into, and he failed. He was defeated, then he thought of, now let me change my profession, let me get into politics. And he was defeated in a legislative race at the age of 22. Look at the setbacks in his life, and that too at what age? He failed again in the business at the age of 24. Can you imagine? So he has been going here and there. And he has always been striving for, looking to do something. He overcame the death of his sweetheart at the age of 26. He loved this girl. And at one point of a time, he thought that life has come to stand still. But he did not believe in stopping over there. So he continued. And what did he do? He had a nervous breakdown at the age of 27. And he almost lost everything in his life. Look at the age of 27, he had the nervous breakdown. He lost a congressional race at the age of 34. Again, that Kida was there, So again he went there and he tried maybe his fortune over there, but again he lost. He lost a senatorial race at the age of 45. Look at number of failures. And we come across 1 or 2 और घबरा जाते हैं. He failed in an effort to become the vice president of the country at the age of 47. Can you imagine how this fellow is jumping here and there? He lost a senatorial race at the age of 49. Can you imagine? Now look at the punchline over here. And that is what should motivate everybody just as it has motivated me. And what is it? He was elected as the President of the United States of America at the age of 52, and he is none other than Abraham Lincoln. One of the finest presidents that US ever have had, and one of the finest politicians that the world has ever seen. I want to involve you now. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. You will have to identify the people. Please don't speak in between. Let people think about it. Raise your hands, and I'm going to ask you the questions. I don't want to keep it one-way traffic. I call it winners, but not quitters. And who are these people? Let me give you the brief about the first personality. A candidate for a news broadcaster's post was rejected because of his voice. He was also told that with his obnoxiously long name, he would never be famous. Is it a hidden secret? I don't think so. The world knows him very well, and he is the living legend. Who is this person? Amitabh Bachchan. And he is none other than the big B, Amitabh Bachchan. And we should know about this, that he was rejected by none other than the All India Radio. And that too, the reason given was कि तुम्हारी आवाज अच्छी नहीं है. Yeah? Anyway, let me give you another personality now. A small boy, the fifth amongst the 7 siblings of a poor father, was selling the newspapers in a small village to earn his living. He was selling the newspapers coming from a very, very, very poor family. He was not exceptionally smart at the school, but was fascinated by the religion and the rockets. Can you see the combination? What a rare combination. The first rocket that he built crashed. A missile that he built crashed multiple times, and he was made a butt of ridicule. People started laughing, mocking at him. Mazak udate the uski. He is the person to have scripted the space odyssey of India single-handedly. And who is this person? Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. Chaliye, now the test would become a little tougher for you. Okay? Now the real test would start. And please raise your hands. I want to see now. In 1962, 4 nervous young musicians played their first record audition for the executives of the Deccan Recording Company. The executives were not impressed at all. While turning down this group of musicians, one of the executives of that recording company said, "We don't like their sound. Groups of guitars are on the way out." Can you identify these people? Raise your hands, please. Who is this? There you go. The group was called the Beatles later on. Can you imagine? See, at one point of a time, they were rejected. And you know how they created the history later on. Let's go for another one. In 1944, Emmeline Snivelli, the director of the Blue Book modeling agency, told the modeling hopeful Norman Jean Baker, "You would better learn the secretarial work or else get married. Look, lady, you are a model hopeful. But let me tell you this, you have got 2 options in your life. Because I don't see any kind of sparks in you. Number 1, become a secretary and retire as a secretary. And number 2 is get married, have children, get settled. And that is what I can think of you, nothing else." Who is this lady? You said it. She went on to become Marilyn Monroe. One and only. World has never come across a lady like this. In 1954, Jamie Denny, manager of the Grand Ole Opry, fired a singer after one performance. Only one performance. And you know, that person was rejected. He told him, "You are not going anywhere, my son. Hey boy, you don't have any kind of a future. You ought to go back to driving a truck. You are a truck driver. And my suggestion to you is remain as a truck driver." Do you know who is this person? Kya baat hai? He went on to become Elvis Presley. Look at these legendary figures. And how they have got started. See? It was not something like an inborn talent. It was all because of whatever I have said in the beginning. It was all because of that desire, that willingness, that perseverance, to do something, and they had goals for themselves. I'll go for maybe 1 or 2 more. This is a tough one, and I want to see who can answer this. A 4-year-old girl, she is one of my role models. The 20th of 22 children contracted double pneumonia and scarlet fever at a very early age, which paralyzed her left leg. Look at her background, please. Thereafter, at 9 years of age, she removed her leg braces and started walking without them. The records and the history says that at one point of a time, doctors had said, forget running, forget walking. We doubt if this girl would be able to stand even. And what did she do? She threw away her leg braces. At 13, she decided to become a runner, but kept falling miserably and became a butt of ridicule. And kept falling miserably in all the races that she entered in. You know about her background. Okay, what was she? And what she had gone through. She kept trying in spite of several detractors and finally started winning every race that she entered. And she became the fastest woman on this earth. Can you imagine what a person can do with the spirit of being positive? Who is this lady? Anybody? Let me open the secret for you. Olympics have just gone, and look at this lady. She is Wilma Rudolph, who went on to win 3 Olympic gold medals with the kind of a record that she had. She literally challenged the medical science, and she proved them wrong. A school teacher scolded a boy for not paying the attention to his mathematics. Now, this is a classic one. He was very poor in mathematics, very poor in the figures. And for not being able to solve the simplest of the problems given to him, 2 plus 2, and he would say 5. She told that he would not become anybody in life. Haath jod diye ki beta tumhara kuch nahi hoga. I don't see any kind of a future of yours. Kuch nahi hoga. His mother, however, believed in him, and she coached him in mathematics. And who is this person? Yeah? We call him genius. The boy went on to become Albert Einstein. What fantastic stories that I have shared with you people. See, ultimately, how come I have shared all of these case studies with you with their brief backgrounds? The reason is very, very simple. Because the message is written on the wall. And what is this message all about? The message is a winner is not one who never fails. See? A winner is not the one who never fails. That is not the case. But one who never quits. One who never quits in spite of the so-called failures. See, I read somewhere that they say that when people have the problems, listen to this. They say that when people have the problems, some people break down. Some people break records. That is the difference between a winner and a quitter. A winner never quits, and a quitter never wins. See, I'm very fond of our late Shair, Kavi, Shekhadam Abuwala. Once he said something very interesting, because so many youngsters are sitting over here, and that prompts me, I share one of his shairis over here. And once he said this, Amne nakho jindagi ni agma. Amne nakho jindagi ni agma, agne pan firvishu bagma. It was Sheikh Adam Abuwala, you know? Yeah, and he said, કે અમને નાખો જિંદગીની આગમાં, આગને પણ ફેરવીશું બાગમાં, સર કરીશું આખરે સૌ મોરચા, મોતને પણ આવવા દો જરા લાગમાં. See, now that's the kind of an attitude, that's the kind of a spirit that an individual carries, is it not? Yeah? See, this is something about, you know, see, yeah, huh? Just the idea about, and the idea is very simple over here, that, you know, become the challenger in life. See, you will always will have the mishaps. You will always will have the problems. You will always will have the setbacks and the stumbling blocks. But winners are those who face these challenges with a smiling face. You know, and these are the people who can even challenge not the life, but even the death. And that is what he said. Okay? See, I'm reminded about a wonderful story which happened, you know, this is the live, true incident in my life. I'm from Mumbai. 26th July 2005, no Mumbaikar would forget. And the reason has been the heavy downpour. Mumbai had never seen this, you know, in the entire history. वो कहते हैं ना कि आकाश फटा, you know, that is what they say. And you know, everywhere there was flooding. Nobody was left, you know, and everybody had to suffer. I stay in Andheri West, you know, near Lokhandwala at 4 bungalows. And I remember after a few days, you know, when everything had gone and, you know, people had started forgetting and all that, I happened to visit an insurance agent, you know, in the next building. And he does my work, a good friend of mine by the name Amit Shah. And he is a Gujarati. And he does my work. So for some work, I had gone over there. I had heard, you know, somebody had told me कि भाई उनके घर में पानी घुस गया था, maybe 1 feet, 1.5 feet, and you know, it stayed for 1.5, 2 days and all that. So I went there and you know, I was inquiring कि भाई अमित भाई मैंने सुना कि आपको बड़ा नुकसान हो गया था this that. So I thought that his reaction would be okay, thanks for those good words and all that, but now the things have settled. I saw meanwhile that they had started with the furniture. मैंने बोला कि ये सब furniture वगैरह. And what is it? He said कि yeah, what you had heard was good. You know, that's absolutely right. But you know, I take it the other way. That this rains and this flooding has given us an opportunity to change our furniture. And I was stunned for a second. Look at the spirit of this man. He has lost almost like something like, you know, 50 to 75,000. And all of a sudden, unexpectedly, he had to go for all of these expenses. And look at the spirit of this man. He did not realize, but I thought okay, that was the lesson in my life. That under any circumstances, there are always ways of looking at the positive things in life. I came across this beautiful write-up somewhere, which I want to share with you people. Bernard Edmonds. And what he has to say, and he says that to dream anything that you want to dream, anything that you want to dream, that is the beauty of the human mind. अगर सोचो तो इतनी सोचो, दूर की सोचो. And that's why they say sky is the limit for you. You know, somebody has said, no, कि aim at the stars. Whenever you aim for the stars, even if you fall short, you will end up on the moon. Is it not? See, अगर सोचना ही है और सपने ही देखने हैं, तो फिर लंबे देखो. छोटी छोटी बातों में क्यों उलझ जाते हो? See, if somebody has to think of, you know, I want to become the CEO, I want to become the managing director, and why not? Even if you retire as an executive director or a vice president or a general manager, I would feel that's not a mean achievement. Is it not? But if you always think of, I want to become the assistant manager, that's about it. But Baba, you have started as an officer. You have already started as an executive, and maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 years down the line, you would become an assistant manager. And what would you do? Commit suicide? Because you have achieved the goal of your life. Is it not, तो अगर सोचना है तो लंबी सोचना है. And that is what Dhirubhai Ambani, he has taught us. Yeah, if you can dream, you can achieve. लेकिन मुंगेरी लाल के हसीन सपने नहीं. See, you have to convert these dreams into the realities, is it not? Yeah, see? And that is where the real crux lies. How do you convert your dreams into the realities? And how do you convert the threats into the opportunities and adversities into the achievements? To do anything that you want to do, that is the strength of the human will. See, that is the power of the human mind, and that is the power of the human will. अगर करना है, See, I was watching this interview of Sachin Tendulkar a few years back, and he says, I have got only one priority in my life, nothing else, and that's cricket. Cricket is my first love. I can't look beyond. My family also comes later. And once I wear this helmet, I forget everything. And that is the truth of my life. When would you retire? And he says, I don't know. I don't know. Because I want to play cricket. And I want to play cricket. And I can't think beyond. So in literal sense, I don't know anything about it, I haven't given a thought to it. See, that's the kind of a passion that one develops. To trust yourself, to test your limits. And you test yourself, when the challenges come to you. That is the courage to succeed. Yeah? See, this is all about intentions. See, ये नीयत के बारे में, ultimately spirit and the attitude is all about your intentions and all that. I was going somewhere, और कई बार मैं हंसते हंसते लोगों को कहता हूँ कि देखिए, learning is also about the attitude. And you can learn anywhere if you have that attitude. And I was sitting in my car, and in front of me was a truck. And I read on the back side of it something very interesting. See, the spirit of being positive. And it went like this, कि अगर नीयत तेरी अच्छी है, तो किस्मत तेरी दासी है. And I was surprised, very interesting. I literally started writing that, because it was the signal light, and literally I started writing on a tissue paper. अगर नीयत तेरी अच्छी है तो किस्मत तेरी दासी है. अगर कर्म तेरे अच्छे है तो घर में मथुरा काशी है. And I said, यार ये तो महागुरु है. See, you are a truck driver, maybe a cleaner can even teach you. The point over here is, it's all about the spirit of learning. It is all about the attitude. Okay, yes, I want to learn. And that is why they say, the human mind is like a parachute. The human mind is like a parachute. It works only when it's open. And we know about it. Okay, what's the purpose of having a parachute? It has to open. And if it doesn't open, then what can happen? Everybody knows about it. And that is the case with the human mind too. Okay, it has to work. And it has to open. So one has to be optimistic. Ashawadi, Acha hi hoga. And you don't leave this optimism. See, somewhere I read this, something very interesting. I'm reminded about that. And it says, this is the height of optimism. This is the height of optimism. And what is it? A man was falling from the Eiffel Tower. For what reasons, God knows. A man was falling from the Eiffel Tower and midway told somebody, look, nothing has happened to me. And what would that fellow would tell him? कि बाबा wait for a few seconds more. You know? फिर ऊपर मिलेंगे और क्या? Huh? We have heard about this story. And how often, everybody knows about it. And somebody must be even thinking about, how come he's showing us this? See, this is the Panch Tantra Katha. And it's about the hare and the tortoise. And we know about this, at the end of the day, who wins? It's the tortoise. Hare, which was maybe 1,000 times, maybe 10,000 times superior than the tortoise. But at the end of the day, who wins? The tortoise. And it was all because of the attitude, and it was all because of the spirit. And that's why it is said, it is your attitude and not your aptitude. It is not about the knowledge and about the skills. They are certainly important. It is your attitude and not your aptitude that determines your altitude. Altitude yani height, the success, आपकी ऊंचाई. And that is not determined by your knowledge and skills. In fact, one research says this. They say that your knowledge and skills for which you spend your entire life, gyan, kausalya, and we want to have in our life all sorts of skills. The technical skills, the functional skills, the managerial skills, the behavioral skills, and whatnot. And this research says that your knowledge and skills put together, they contribute 15% to your total success. उनका contribution है 15%. The rest 85% comes from this one word called attitude. That is the most important word in the English language. Yeah. See, as we are coming to the fag end of this presentation, I want to share a few photographs with you. Somebody had sent me an email, and as usual, I thought, okay, it's one another mail. And I started looking at these photographs, and it was so hair-raising. Let us understand the realities of life. See, the first photograph that we see over there, and these two men, they are trying to help this child, save this child. The area is heavily flooded, and the water is neck deep. And look at this child, but the child is smiling. The spirit is intact. And these people, while wading through the waters, they haven't given up. Another photo. Here is a soldier, and he is protecting his country. He is at the LOC, and he doesn't have any other companion with him. He is going through this letter that has come from his family, and a dog, shows as a friend for him. And that has become his companion, but he enjoys his life. Look at this girl. What a wonderful kid. She doesn't go to the school. She doesn't have the notebooks. She doesn't have the books. And she's trying to practice whatever she knows of on a brick. It is so heart-moving. Look at these people over here. On an everyday basis, they are required to cross. Use this bridge, which is not cement concrete, It's a kind of a, रस्सी से बना हुआ है, और उस पर, wood planks are there. And most of them, they have broken. And all of these people, on an everyday basis, they are required to cross. And they keep their death in their hands. and how they are crossing. They are walking on the ropes, and it's a high valley. But that is their spirit. They haven't given up. When we look at this man, and he has the cycle and the load that he is carrying, and we almost feel like that he is carrying the load of the entire world. पूरी दुनिया का बोझ लेके वो घूम रहा है. But he doesn't have the complaints. In fact, the load that he is carrying, the burden that he is carrying is so much that literally we don't see him. He is not to be seen. Look at this grandma. She is nothing less than 80 or 85, but she hasn't given up. And that is her spirit. She is working. And she has got the smile on her face. I think that can teach us many, many lessons. It can motivate us. And there can't be a better motivation than this one. When we see around us, when people cross 50, and they start preparing themselves for the retirement. It's almost something like, the semi-retirement stage, and the, countdown starts. And what is it? Yeah, many people, they have been showing me the signals, ke kaka kem cho majama, su chale che, mane ke. In the beginning, when I came back from the United States, I never used to understand all of this, Hello, kem cho uncle, how are you? Is everything all right? So I asked somebody, as and when I meet an aged person, they always show me some signals like this, That fellow said, you did not understand? I said, no. Yaar, bada simple hai. They say that now 3 years to go for the retirement. Now that is their spirit. And when we look at this lady, it becomes very embarrassing for us. Now this is really hair-raising, and it's very sentimental. See, when we look at our children, and many a times they say, I am bored of the studies now. The same old books and the same old, school and the teachers and the friends and whatnot. Look at the other side of this picture. And these are the boys and the girls in their, young age. They don't have the schools to go. And what are they doing? They are trying to write on the ground. They don't have the notebooks. They don't have the books. It is heart-moving. Look at this fat baby. She's so fluffy and stuffy. And because we have become health conscious, what do we look for? On a diet. And look at the other photograph. Here is a young kid. They die from it. They don't require the diet. They die from it. See, many a times our children and our relatives and our intimate members, many a times they say, ki your love suffocates me. You're so close, Bas bahut ho gaya, See, even our children, they say, ki give us the space. And here is a question. Does your parents' care tire you? And you get bored of it? And look at the other photograph. They don't have anybody to love them. But they haven't given up. Our children, our youngsters, they say that the same old video games. I got bored. There's no variety in the life. And here is a small baby. And what is its toy? The human skull. Can you imagine? A young kid playing with the human skull and the skeleton because they don't have the toys with them. What kind of a spirit that they would be carrying? Unbelievable. It's very sentimental. We always look at our luxuries and the comforts, and we have got lots of options. Yeah? The number of clothes that we have, the moment we open our closet, 50, 60, 70, and even then we say, Aje su peru. Sawal age, see? See, it's the same old stuff in my life, and I don't seem to be having any kind of a variety. Aren't thankful for a bed to sleep in, and how cozily she is sleeping over there. And here is the kid. They would wish not to wake up. Look at the tragedy and the contradictions and the ironies in our life. We are part of the same world. What kind of a spirit they would be carrying? So what is the message, my friends, over here? And the message is very, very clear. It's written on the wall, and it is, observe around you and be thankful for all that you have in this transitory lifetime. See, we are having tremendous talent with us. We all have everything that is required to be successful. The only thing which is required is the commitment that comes from within. The hard work which is required that again comes from within. Let us complain less. And that is what this entire presentation says. Let us complain less and give more. And that is what one can do. And show our spirit to this world that we are positive, and not only we care for ourselves, but we care for others too. And that is my message for everybody. Look beyond and discover yourself. See, we have within us tremendous potential, tremendous talent, tremendous capabilities. वो काबिलियत हम में है. In fact, one Harvard Business School research says this. It says that when Albert Einstein, the genius, when he passed away, he had used 15%, 1/5, I repeat once again, it was 1/5, 15%. When Albert Einstein, the genius, passed away, he had used 15% of his total potential and mental capabilities. Even in his case, 85% went to waste. An average human being like you and me, a common man, we use hardly, on an average, 2% of our total potential and mental capabilities in our entire life. And the biggest irony of this fact is that you can't inherit the untapped potential of yours to any of your children, legal successors. It goes with you. So ultimately, it is in our hands. Whether we want to become the part of mass or we want to become the part of class. See, the journey between ordinary and extraordinary is very simple. You have to add those 5 letters, E, X, T, R, A. But it is not that easy. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure. May God bless you.
Thank you very much, sir. Whenever we will have some frustrations, we'll remember these good words and try to re-jump ourselves again. Friends, we have another 10-minute time. We have given you the yellow seat. If you wanted to ask some questions, please go ahead.
Yeah.
I don't have a pen, so I will use my tongue instead.
Yes, sure. Please go.
Okay. Recently I read in a book that the attitude, positivity or negativity, is it to great extent inbuilt in the man's mind. He grows up with it. So, any comments?
No, that's absolutely true. And see, ultimately, it's all about the mind process. See, every day in the morning we get up and we decide about okay, what I want to do today and what kind of a person I want to become. See, there are no excuses for this. It's a mental process. It's about the mindset. It's about your approach. And it's about the way you look at the world. So ultimately, the words could be different, but the message is the same.
Mr. Vakil, I have a question, and this is a
What is it?
very pertinent one. This is out of my research.
Mm-hmm.
I believe attitudes are formed in the first 5 years of life.
Okay.
What is your opinion on that?
I tend to disagree on that.
Okay, we can.
To an extent, no. The reason is very simple. See, there are books written about attitude building. You go to any of the bookstores and you would find the books. See, there are training programs on attitude building. And why is it so? Companies are spending, hundreds of crores on this. What could be the reason? See, they are not going to have the 3-year-old kids and 4-year-old kids to attend such training programs. And 3 and 4-year-old kids are not going to go through such books. See, then that in itself suggests okay, attitude is a kind of an attribute. It's a kind of a quality that can be learned, it can be taught, and there is no age barrier for it. See, there would always be schools of thoughts, and people would have their own sayings, But ultimately, see, I always believe in this. Okay, nobody is a born swimmer. Nobody is a born driver. Nobody is a born cook. And nobody is born with a particular attitude. No doubt. Your family, the way you are raised, it contributes to your attitude. And definitely, those are the foundation years for you. And they contribute. And many a times it happens that you develop a particular kind of a frame of mind. कि ये लोग अच्छे ही हैं. Many a times we develop that attitude, maybe for the religion, maybe for the community, maybe for a particular category of people. It happens. Sometimes it stays with you. But in my opinion, my experience, my reading, my research says that continues. Even at the age of 55 and 60 and 70, you can change your attitude. Many a times in my training programs, when I conduct the program on power of positive attitude, and when it's a public training program, I have seen people at the age of 70, 75, and 80 have attended my training programs. And I'm stunned, and I ask those people, okay, what makes you attend? And they say, sir, abhi to bahut kuch seekhne ko baki hai. And that's all about attitude. Learning has no age barrier. Nothing draws it, That's about it.
But then what percentage of people are open to that sort of phenomenon?
That I would not be knowing. See, the percentage I would not be knowing. But yes, definitely that would be in minority. That is for sure. Network marketing organization make it possible to remain positive and help lots of people. Yes or no? Absolutely yes. Warren Buffett said, network marketing organization raise human skill and also wealth. Fine. In traditional Bs, you cannot remain positive enough, but the best option is to join referral marketing organization to challenge your limits and raise yourself to help the mankind in real sense. Is it true? And the answer is absolutely true. See, even when you enter into the competition, you don't want to kill the competition. You want to enjoy the competition. And that is where you are going to raise your bar. Again, that is all about the spirit and about the attitude. Yeah. How to keep up the positive spirit even under the adverse circumstances? See, You have to look around. And there are so many cases which I have shared with you. And when you look at their adversities, I always feel like okay, we don't have any problems. We are blessed by the God Almighty. See, all of the successful people, celebrities and all that, what do you feel? They have never come across any kind of obstacles, no hardships in life? That is not the case. But they did not give up. See, they enjoy whatever come across in their lives. See, that is the kind of a spirit. See, this is not something about, okay, the tonic is available in the market. Medicine is available in the market. A kind of a Chyawanprash is available in the market. And every day in the morning, you can have 1 teaspoonful and you remain positive. See, just as you enjoy your successes, I think the crux lies in you start enjoying even the adversities. Because as they say that, see, the night and the day, it's a kind of a cycle. अगर दुख है तो सुख का आना ही आना है. And that is why they say that when the night falls and you know about it, it's a matter of time. And within a few hours, the day is going to start. When the day comes and you know for sure, okay, now it's a matter of few hours. And the evening is going to fall. So ultimately, see, it's all about, looking within, accepting the realities of the life. Just as you have accepted the color of your complexion, just as you have accepted your height and you can't change it, I think you need to accept the realities and the practicalities of the life and learn from the people around, especially from the successful people. Don't look at the failures. Okay? Yeah. Maybe the final question?
Final, please.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I have? How to handle our ego when our juniors try to dominate us? And the answer is, see, you are the owner of your own attitude. One has to be modest. One has to be polite. And that is what I have learned from all of the successful people. You look at Sachin Tendulkar. You look at Kiran Bedi. You look at Narayan Murthy. And all of these people who have become the trendsetters in whatever they have done. But literally they have been having this virtue and the attribute of modesty, transparency, openness, humbleness. And in fact, when we look at a person like, Narayan Murthy, it's almost like, simplicity personified. So the question over here is, you don't look at your subordinates or maybe your juniors as not your challengers, but look at them as your business partners. And the best way is counsel them on a one-to-one basis. Best source of motivation is not in the books, but it is within yourself. Yes or not? And I absolutely agree with you, Ashish. Yes, there is what? Is attitude inversely proportional to the complexes, superior or inferior? I fail to understand what this question is all about. If somebody can tell us what exactly he or she is trying to say. I think that's about it. Do we have that person, Anil Prasad, over here? Okay, yeah, what is it?
So, किस तरह से affect करता है? Complexes और attitude में?
See, you can have the two extremes, and as I have indicated in the beginning itself, see, one is positive, one is negative. One is constructive, one is destructive. And the same is the case over here. Some people have that superiority complex, and some people carry that inferiority complex. And I have to say, see, superiority complex is all about over-intelligence. It is all about, being overconfident. And many a times I tell this, see, intelligence is good. Intelligence is good. But when you convert your intelligence into cunningness, people would call you Jekyll. Hai na? And when it comes to the inferiority complex, and I always tell people about one thing, see, we are all born billionaires. But the problem with us is, we always look at the materialistic things in our life as a point of success. See, if you look at the time which is available with you, the talent that is within you, and you would realize that God has blessed you with everything that was required. The only thing is, commit yourself, have the high benchmarks, set high goals for yourself, learn from the people, learn from the successful people, don't look here and there, commit yourself, don't digress, and I don't think why the success would not come to you. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So thanks to all. Thank you.